Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Civil War Podcast. I'm your host, Tim.
And this is Brian, and we were joking right before we got on because this episode we decided is cursed. And okay, anyone that follows the WWE or wrestling, I just bought a Danhausen t-shirt and it just arrived the other day. So you know how it is, where he does his cursed. And I'm wondering if the shirt like came pre-cursed.
I
I don't know
think so.
why. Because I'm a supporter of Danhausen. I would give him all the monies he asked for. I gave him
Doesn't
money
matter.
technically. I don't
Doesn't
get it.
matter. You're cursed.
I am. I don't know. And I tell you, he's like the one of the best things to come to WWE. It's like just the skits he does are like hilarious. Him and the Miz that's going on. It's like the best
I
thing
got to
ever.
start watching WWE now. I
Just
feel
for
like it's
him.
time.
I
Yeah.
mean, just for him, you will love him. I mean, I'm kind of bummed they took away the horror stuff with the Wyatt Six got let go, and the Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. They were doing this dark thing. They kind of, and I read something they took away the dark horror of it. So I don't like that element that what they're doing right now. But Danhausen is as long as he stays, I think I could be okay. It's like him and Joe Hendry are like in the same thing now, and it's just it's good stuff. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, we've got another rat movie tonight. This
yes,
one is the sequel to Willard from last week, which of course is Ben. Ben is actually the horror movie I knew about first. I didn't even know there was a Willard. And now, granted, like I said, I haven't seen these, but I remember growing up hearing about Ben because of the song, the Michael Jackson song.
yeah.
So I knew there was a movie called Ben, and it was about a rat. And I didn't realize until probably years later that Willard was the original movie. I thought it was just this one rat movie called Ben. So it
Yeah,
was kind of
I thought
interesting.
honestly, I thought it was like like we're like it was like 17 again and like and vice
Yeah,
versa, like that we're
yeah,
just the same plots coming out. I'm like, all right, one got named Ben, one got named Willard,
yeah,
and and,
yeah,
and honestly, that well, I mean, we'll talk about that when we get into the meat of the episode, but yeah, now that Michael Jackson's song seems ever more misplaced than it's like
yeah.
like in a horror movie. But then again, this is a weird horror movie, but this will be fun to discuss. I have a feeling. But but real quick, it's not on our rundown, but I hope everyone checked out like actually our first like video show on YouTube. I haven't looked at
Yes.
our see if it improved our ratings yet, or we're just same
Yeah,
old thing, but
yeah,
I think it was fun. Tim did a really good job. You need to send Tim some accolades there because he like worked so hard to get not only get this episode edited, but he quickly was able to get a video episode up there for the first time ever. So it's like bravo, Tim.
yeah,
So
yeah. So you guys check us out on YouTube, and you get to see us record this thing. Now, granted, I will tell you,
yeah,
the video versions are probably going to be the most like raw because I'm not a great video editor. So if you want to see like the what do they call it? How the sausage is made.
oh, you,
That's YouTube's where you want to go. That's
uh,
the raw video. But the audio I can clean up the sound a little bit and polish it a little bit. But I think the video is fun because you get to see our reactions, see
yeah,
us
and you got
laughing
to see
about
my
stuff.
rat imitation,
Yeah,
like that we were
yeah.
describing to
And you
you.
get to see
So
our horror shirts. So we're gonna wear a
yeah,
different horror shirt every episode. This is my demon chick
yeah.
blowing bubblegum shirt,
I like that.
and,
It's like
and
Stephanie Vaquera. She has those things. And I have my California Cryptids t-shirt.
yeah,
So we
super
both
cool.
have a plethora of horror t-shirts. So now, and the best part is, now we have a legit excuse to tell Olivia and Julie why we need to buy more horror shirts because we
So that's
can't
right.
duplicate.
No,
I mean, like,
people
how
get
it's like the,
confused. They'll think they're watching the same episode over
yeah,
again
no, so we can't have this. So unfortunately, Tim, we just have to keep buying horror shirts. That's what it is.
for
I
the
mean,
podcast. For the
yes.
podcast. Yeah.
Yes, like there's the Devil Wear Prada. Well, Tim and Brian will wear horror shirts. That'll be the whole thing. So,
All right. Well, let's get right into it. This is our first chop. All right, Brian. I didn't have anything this week, but I knew you had a big story, and that was Universal Fan Fest night. So let's hear all about that.
yes, I'm gonna definitely go into a little visit here. So, the first thing is I'm gonna say the overall the event was fun. Now, I think by going to Horror Night so many times, a couple times at Hollywood, a couple times we went to Orlando. Um, I think, a lot of people are assuming this is just like Horror Nights light or Horror Nights, but with fandom and not like scary stuff.
Horror, yeah.
It's I think it'll get there. Right now, it's not there, and I love Universal. I'm like a Universal fanboy up for everything, up and down. But I am gonna do a little bit of harsh criticism, and there may even be a soapbox moment
Oh,
here
no,
for
they've only
this.
been doing this a few years, right?
Yeah, this is only its second year, so that's why I'm gonna cut
Okay,
it some
so
slack. You know,
right,
you
yeah,
can't expect. You know what it is? It's just Horror Nights is so good, so you expect like Universal to just say, "All right, we'll just do this, boom, and perfect event." But
right.
it's different. It's harder, and even Julie was saying that she goes, "You know, it's only the second year," and I'm like, "I know, but this shouldn't be happening." And
Yeah.
you know, some of it was our decision making because we weren't familiar with the event. I think we thought we could. It was a Saturday night. It was opening weekend, so there is that crowd. But normally we always usually do. We went with some friends, and it's funny they went in full cosplay as like Fred and Daphne from Scooby Doo.
Oh,
So that was
cool.
kind of cool. So I'll have to post some pictures up on that. You might have saw one we shared, one with all of us in there. But I'll put some stuff because I got some good video of the event too. I want to put up. What but you know, but normally, you know, with if it's just Julie and I, we tend to just buy the express pass because, you know, usually it's a limited time. You know, we're there one night, we're coming back. But with everyone there, we did want to kind of like, you know, make everyone else spend another. Remember, they bought the tickets and they did. We had the season pass, so we were already in, so we just had to pay the event fee. So we're like, okay, it won't be so bad. You know, there's not as much stuff to do. And I think what was weird about it that I noticed overall is that like some things were like no line at all. Some had like really long lines. The ones I thought were going to have a long line didn't have any line. It's very weird, but I'll go into it one by one. We did skip the Super Mario one because at that point Julie and I wanted to we were down there and we were at the early entry part of it. And so the only thing that was really open was part of the Jurassic Park thing and part of the and the water deep. I don't think Super Mario had opened yet, but we got some snacks and drinks and we were gonna so Julie and I hadn't done that, but Water Deep I guess was there last year and they had done it already. They went last year. So we're like, okay, you know what? I really had no interest in the Super Mario thing because I think it's like you just kind of go around the thing and you ended up getting like almost like a Mario version of what the Burger King like crown is like
Uh,
but it's like with Yoshi's on
yeah.
it. I think it's a different colored Yoshis around. You got to find them or something. I don't know. I didn't. Not that I ever want to skip anything, but I'm just like, you know what? That like, you know, we're down. You know, and it was the lower lot, and we wanted to get back up to the upper lot because soon the you know the Universal Monster one was opening and all that stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I think I can skip. We've been to Super Nintendo Land in there enough, and it's not very big. I mean, we've seen everything you can see, and I can't imagine what they were going to do that was going to be any different. You know.
Yeah. Sounds like the
So
least effort
yeah, so
part.
we skipped that and we did the water deep one. But I'll get to that in a second. But the first thing we did was the Jurassic Park through the years, and it was funny. We went to it at the early entry, and we walked through, and like right when you walk in, there's a John Hammond like actor, and he was pretty good. And he was like, you know, he's like, "Welcome to Jurassic Park," you know, like his typical way he
Yeah.
does it. And I was talking to him a little bit, and I said, "Hey, you know, you got a great accent." He goes, "As I should," you know, like they stay in character. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
It's kind of
They're
great.
always so good, the actors.
Oh my God, yeah, the Universal Hollywood ones. I think, granted, they have a better pool because you're in
Yeah.
Hollywood. You know, there are
Right.
people that are trying to get any kind of acting gig. And honestly, if I was an actor and I was looking for a role and I wasn't getting anything, I would totally go for something at Universal and try and be a character because it's so much fun. They get into it. So we worked to him, and then there was this other guy. I think he was like a generic Jurassic Parkian. I don't know. He just had one of those like raptor or animal puppets or something, one of those
Oh
little
yeah,
baby
they have the little
raptors.
raptor puppet hand
Yeah,
thing.
and I think
Yeah.
that's in Orlando too. Like they have
Yeah.
those meet and
I've
greet
seen
things. So
videos of it. Yeah.
yeah, so we just kind of said, "Oh, hi to him," and we were looking at the props and everything. Then I spotted the Jeff Goldblum, Ian Malcolm one,
That
which I
was
had
great.
to go see, and I
Yeah.
sent you that, right?
Yeah, that
This
video is
guy,
great.
yeah, he was so dead on, and he was cracking me up. How he's like, you know, and I played along, and I'm like, "Oh, he spared no expense." He goes, "No, spared no expense. There's fake a branch here, and a fake this, but a real car, you know." And totally stayed in the Jeff Goldblum voice and
Yeah.
everything. So he was, I'm not as good as mine's not that
Yeah.
good. His was pretty good.
Yeah.
So
It
we
was it
saw
was
that.
fun.
Yeah, and then there was a Doctor Wu, the BD Wong character. He was around, walking around, but yeah, it's weird. It's like I feel like BD Wong is very specific. I don't think you can really capture his essence. Nobody can. He's just the way he is. So,
Yeah.
like this guy was okay. He was just generic-y kind of thing. Um, so we walked over, and at the end there's this like big tent thing with a door, and it was like buttons on it, and it's like I'm like I could have sworn I saw something with that online during the preview, but like everyone was like staying in character. So I'm like, does that thing ever open? They're like, no, that's a replica. We cannot open it. And I'm
Oh
like,
my
all right.
gosh.
I'm like, how do I figure this out? And since it wasn't ever on the official list of FanFest nights things, I didn't know how to figure this out. Some One of our friends, she talked to I don't know who it was, one of the characters that was walking around, and they said, well, there is going to be a dinosaur transfer at 7:15. So we're like, oh, okay, let's get back there at
Oh.
7:15, see what this is. So we ate, we rushed back in there to that. And what it is those doors open up and these giant like raptor animatronics come out. Which it
Oh,
was hard to
cool.
get because we were behind, but these were like full on things, when they did the clicking and they're trying to like it's a whole little like show. So it was kind of cool. I wish I knew a little bit more because then we would have waited up front and got a better footage. I mean, I'm like literally my gimbal over like this crowd of people. So, uh, so I'll post it, but I don't know how well you can actually, make it out. But it was still cool. I could see it enough that I was like, oh, I get it now. That's kind of cool, kind of thing. So then that's when we split up and we did to the Dungeons and Dragons. It's called Secrets of Waterdeep. So, and I think it was definitely in one of the haunt buildings that we saw. It was one of the sound stages. So we had been in this before for one of the haunts last year. I don't remember. So this was probably the closest thing to a haunt that's close to like a Horror Nights. It's kind of like it remind me of. It's kind of like a lesser scale version of that Poseidon's Fury thing we did at Islands of Adventure. It's like a
Hmm.
walkthrough attraction, but like
Yeah.
full of effect. So that's what this is. And it was like an hour wait, and I'm like, oh my God. But this thing moved really fast because what I think they do is they pull in like large groups of like 20 to 25 people at a time. And I was like, well, where are they putting all these people in there? Like, how is this going to, it doesn't look like it's a conga line walkthrough because I know there's like interactions. What they did is I realized when you get in there, they do your either, they kind of push you into a segment and you're either a cleric, a rogue, a wizard, or a fighter kind of thing. And
Oh.
now, granted, if you like someone like you who are really into the lore of Dungeons Dragons
Yeah.
and Waterdeep, you would have been like full on. Like I'm like, not as familiar. So I'm like they were like asking people to do stuff, and I'm like there was someone that was total in on it, like, and she was like, yeah, and she was interacting with everything, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I wish I was kind of recording it, so I'm like, I wish I would have known more of this because I could have done it, but it was still really cool because the characters are really like great in it. And it's like there was like I mean like animatronics in this thing and lasers and light shows and all kind of stuff. And at the end of the big finale, not spoil it. If you're planning on going and you don't want to hear it, turn off now for a second. But basically, the end, it's you there's this giant Xanthar animatronic that comes out, and he that like thing
Is it
which I
like the
thought was
beholder? Like the
yeah, like he's
giant
got like
eye thing?
tentacles. Yeah, and like
Yeah,
eyes
yeah,
and yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
he like a giant animatronic of him comes out and he's
That
yelling
is
at you
cool.
and yeah, and then you kind of get through him, they stop him and you go through. So it's really cool. It's about a 15-minute um adventure through. And if you were a Dungeon Dragon fan, and I'm just mildly there, I know through, but like our buddy Jim Kurtz, like who we met through the Sammy Stay Alive, like he would flip at this thing because this thing is like pure like immersive Dungeon Dragon stuff. So it's really cool.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, and then so after that, we decided to make our way upstairs and do the Universal Monsters, which I'm gonna save for the last because I know that's the one that we really
Yeah,
got
that's the
to
one we
go
want to hear
into.
about.
Um, so we did there was a Sailor Moon one, and I don't know much about Sailor Moon other than the cartoon that used to play like in the
Yeah.
afternoons every once in a
I don't think
while.
I ever watched it. I do. I mean, I know what it is, but I never watched
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I watched it just because it was on. It was on before something else I watched, and so like I knew I liked the music, but this was the older version. I don't know. This seemed to be a more modern Sailor Moon because I only remember there her and like three other moon people. I don't. This had like 30 by at the end of this movie, but basically all it was just a really immersive 4D movie. The one thing I liked and disliked at the same time is because at that point when we saw it, it was later in the day. It was like that was actually the last thing that second to last thing that our friends did because they left before we went did the Harry Potter one. But we were trying to see this. We could fit it in just before we were about to see the One Piece like water show kind of thing. So we went and just saw this thing, and we were tired, long day, and the so it was like a full on Sailor Moon cartoon that was like 15 minutes long, and it was dubbed. It wasn't dubbed. I mean, it was subtitles. So it's like you had to really pay attention. And I'm like, I am so tired. I kind of wanted to just veg and watch this. I didn't want to have to read things. And I mean, out of all the, I guess the event, it was like the most generic one. You know, it's just
Yeah,
literally a 4D
it's just a
movie,
movie. Yeah,
which again brings me back to some, is that like why couldn't they just still have not overlaid The Simpsons for like Treehouse of Horror and Horror Nights? To me, it's like no brainer. You got the ride open, just throw in at the. But whatever. I'm gonna die on that hill apparently because they're taking The Simpsons out now soon
yeah,
anyway, so it's not
yeah,
gonna matter. But after that, then we went to the One Piece show, which I was looking forward to, even though I knew nothing about One Piece. Other than it's like I guess it's some kind of pirate cartoon
yeah. It's a
thing.
pirate anime. I've watched a few episodes. I mean, it's entertaining. I don't know if I'm in it for 1,000 episodes
That's right.
plus.
They have that. Yeah, and then there was a live action one too,
Then they had
right?
the live action one. I mean,
Yeah.
it's entertaining. There's a lot of like crazy zany characters, but it's kind of like I'm not really into the anime that's like super like zany and crazy and like everybody's screaming type of thing. And
Oh, is that what this is?
that's kind of what
Yeah.
One Piece is. There's a lot of like and I'm
Oh,
like it just I don't know. After a while, it just like grates on my nerves. So I don't I like animes that are more I guess a little more like chill,
yeah. Well,
for
this
lack of
was.
a
I
better
mean,
word.
and honestly, it was funny. This is what I was expecting because the Waterworld show was amazing always, and then what they did for the Purge was insanely amazing. So I was expecting a lot, and honestly, this was. Julie even said this too. It was like we both agreed. We're like, out of the three things we've seen in that theater, it was the weakest one. And here's the crazy thing. There were only two show times for the whole night, 10:15 and 11:45 at night. And this is primarily like I would think more for like the kids. Like out of the few things the kids would
Right?
really get
Yeah.
out of is Harry Potter, the and maybe the Mario, I guess. Harry Potter and One Piece, I thought, and maybe Sailor Moon, but I don't know even if the younger kids can know are into Sailor Moon if they're into One Piece. I don't know. I like I said, I'm not an expert on every fandom. Even though Julie thinks I might be because of my
Surprisingly,
collections of things.
yeah.
Yeah, surprisingly, there are fandoms I don't know anything about. So we went to the One Piece, and this is my first soapbox. I'm gonna put it up here or something. And this was a problem with the Waterworld show too. Now, this is a massive theater, okay? So on a good day, if you're going to see that, they cram a lot of people in, but it goes on throughout the day, the Waterworld show. Like it's open all day, so there's plenty of time to see the shows. But with two shows for this night, and now we were seeing the 11:45 p.m. show. Now you have people that have probably been at the park all day, or at least 4 hours now, and it's night. They're tired. And so they shove everybody in this one little area and literally start loading the theater 5 minutes before the show's time is about to start.
Oh my
So Tim,
gosh.
you've been to theme parks as many times. This thing was like, I was like, this is insane to the point of where we like couldn't even barely. We thought we were not even gonna find a seat after we got let in. By the time we let in, because there was this guy sitting there, and he had space in between, but we had six of us, and he's like sitting out there spread out, and he wouldn't even like barely like would let like move his legs for us to get past him. Finally, the one of the ushers came by and said, "Sir, can you please stand up and let these people in?" 'Cause I kind of
Nice.
climbed. Julie and I kind of climbed over him, but our other friends were like not as bold. I think because Julie and I in our theme park, we're just like,
Yeah, like
forget
whatever.
this. This guy's not moving. I don't want. I just want to sit down. So we kind of climbed over and got. And I mean, the show was good. I mean, it's still the water rolls or anything in that stage is probably going to be better than your average theme park show just because of all the effects and everything. And the fact that I didn't quite know what was going on, like I didn't know which character was a good guy or a bad guy, I mean, I kind of figured it out. There was a guy in a suit. I don't know, like a full on like suit. I don't know what he does, like where he got that, like in the
I
pirate
haven't watched
world.
enough of them to know. I
Yeah,
don't know the
someone wants to
characters.
call me and let me know who that is. I don't know. He was just like wearing this like regular suit, smoking a cigarette, kind of weird dude. I don't know what he like what character he is, but then there was some guy that everyone like flipped out when he came out, and he looked like a little guy with a hat. I
Straw Hat.
guess
That's the
he's
main guy. Yeah, that's the main
okay,
one.
straw hat. Yeah, so
Yeah.
he was the main guy, like I guess, and he came out and everyone flipped out. And I mean, I will say some incredible stunts, like flipping over on like wet like set pieces. I'm like, wow, that's impressive. How he's like doing that and not falling. Because I mean, I was barely like I tripped going into the theater,
Well,
let
plus
alone
it's not like they have, like the Waterworld show. They've got like so much opportunity to rehearse and everything for this
yeah.
because it's a permanent show. But like this, what they're doing, it's like a one-off. I guess it's kind of. I would imagine that they have less prep time and rehearsal time than they would for a normal stationary theme park show.
Yeah, and I don't think this was any of the Waterworld people in this. Like they got more characters that looked, I guess, more like the One Piece characters.
Yeah.
Um, but they, and because and when they go, you see the Waterworld show, that's actually real actors that have like been in other stuff that are in these Waterworld shows because they tell you. I think I mentioned that the last time. They'll tell you like they'll say, hey, this person was in Cobra Kai and this person was in this. So they kind of tell you. And I looked it up and they have like a board on outside with their like uh what do you call those the pieces the pictures that people get like the for the to acting gigs
Oh, like their portfolio or something.
portfolio,
Yeah,
whatever
whatever they
yeah,
call
like
it. Yeah.
their portraits that they send, they give out. So it was
Headshots.
like headshots. Thank you. Yes, that was Emily's probably like, you
Yeah.
guys, come on, I talk about them all the time. The headshot. So yeah, they're so that was they have those out in front. But I mean, but still, I have to say, I mean, it was still really good. I think I was tired and frustrated because by the time I got in there, I'm like, this show is it's like the whole entry to the show is a one piece of crap, So it's like hopefully the one piece show will be better. And it was good. It's just like I said, it's just Universal's got to work on that because that's like a hazard and a
Yeah.
half, like what they were doing in there. So there was a guy who was trying to cut us basically because there's no line, and I almost knocked his food all over accidentally because I stepped back to avoid someone else like running across me. That this guy was behind me. He goes, "Whoa!" And I'm like, "Well," and then I'm like, "Oh, I feel bad." I was telling Julie, "Oh, I feel bad. I must knock that guy's thing." He goes, "Just don't feel bad." That guy was like cutting like 30 people online. I was watching him go through the whole line. So I'm like, all right, no good. So my klutziness like was used for good.
Was used for
Um,
powerful good.
yeah. So at that point, in the night, they decided they were tired. They were going to leave. They didn't, I guess they're not as much into Harry Potter. So we wanted to go see this thing. And this thing was easily an hour, 90 minutes all night, this Harry Potter thing. And
I
I
could
saw
see
some
that.
people,
Yeah.
yeah, and I saw some people report that it was closed. And what I can't imagine is, so they must have played some real cool theatrics to get this going because the queue, like you go into the Hogwarts castle like you were going on Forbidden Journey, you turn a different way and you end up going back through the queue backwards through it almost. So I'm like, but this at one point both things were operating, so they must have had some real cool movements on how to get people through the ride and this event at the same time because basically
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, so and like part of this experience, fandom experience, was use the old outdoor queue, and then it went in. So they did a really good job. I mean, this is something though, if you're planning to go, wait for it at night. Even if the line gets long, you have to see this at night. It's so much more impressive because you're going through the Forbidden Forest and everything's like lit up with this cool purple glow. And there's some cool effects. Like there's a sequence where they do like a Lumos spell and everything just lights up around you. And I'm like, oh my God, in the daytime, you wouldn't even see this. You
Yeah.
gotta,
So.
you gotta kind of wait till this one till it's dark enough to really kind of see this. And it's like basically the professor like leads you through and you're off to try and find this hippogriff. And there's some cool sequences. You encounter that centaur character and there's a like animatronic, like that monster book is moving around. And our person was pretty funny. She was like, she was a really good Hogwarts professor. She was like totally into it. I'm like, oh, she is a huge fan of Harry Potter. She's like, hey, we call to go any Gryffindor. She, like really into it. So
Yeah.
she was
Yeah.
really good. And then you eventually find you get through the devil's snare and you go through this whole like path and you finally find the hippogriff, which is this impressive animatronic hippogriff that's like massive too. It's like this was like looked like it was like movie scale hippogriff level. It
Oh,
was
that's
really well
cool.
done. Yeah, so Harry Potter fans will love this experience. And by the way, when we got on, it said 80-minute wait, and Julie and I had like we had some drinks. Like she got a beer and I got found a trick. It's an expensive trick, but it's you buy a butter beer and then you buy a shot of whiskey and you put it in and you have a nice alcoholic thing. But
Ooh.
between the shot of whiskey, a butter beer, and Julie's beer, it was $45. So
Oh my.
it's up there. But I put like Jack Daniels in it, so it was good.
I'm surprised they
Good little
don't
trick.
sell like a shot infused butter beers for the adults.
So that's the thing. I saw an influencer online promote it, and when we told them about it, they're like, "No, we don't have that." And he goes, "But what maybe you can do is you possibly, if you happen to buy a shot of whiskey and you buy a butter beer and you decide to pour it into it, I guess we can't stop you," kind of thing. So it's like an unwritten kind of
It's
thing.
like
So it's like a little
yeah,
trick.
secret
They'll
menu
they'll
type thing. Yeah.
yeah, so whatever you want to buy alcohol wise in the bar, they'll just you buy it and you just pour it in yourself. And so so I poured it in a regular butterbeer and I got to tell you it was absolutely delicious. And now I'm like I'm spoiled because now I'm gonna have to spend $30 every time I want a butterbeer because I want to get the shot of Jack in there with
You know,
it.
butterbeer stuff's like big right now. Like I saw
Right?
butterbeer goldfish. I saw
Yeah.
butterbeer
Popcorn, right?
coffee creamer. Like there's a lot of butterbeer branded stuff out right now
You know
for
what?
some
I
reason.
think so. Universal was having a butterbeer festival I think
Mm,
at both parks, so maybe that might be why they might have just kind of did. I
doing
mean,
a
like I don't know
nationwide
why
thing. Yeah.
this is butterbeer season, but I mean, if Knott's gonna have boysenberry season, maybe
I
they're trying to
guess.
compete. I don't know, but but yeah. So now there's my little hack. If you want a really good next time you're ever at in Harry Potter's one of the Wizarding Worlds, you get a butterbeer. Also buy a little shot of alcohol there. You can throw it in for a nice like cozy treat. I was like, and that handled half the line right there because I was feeling good. I was enjoying it. But the line itself still, it was 80 minutes, but I feel like that might have included the whole thing because I felt like we got through way faster than I expected. And I think they run it good because I think they were at that point trying to move the groups in fast. And you could tell when the groups were coming up to each other because they would kind of do a shtick like that's when she would be like, "Oh, so we have any Gryffindors here? Oh, do we have any Hufflepuffs?" And then like when I realized she was allowed to go, she's like, "Okay, that's great." Like we'll talk about that later. Let's move on. So it's like
Yeah.
they have a good system on the way they do that, and they have someone behind the group. I think that like kind of hurries you so you don't walk along too fast and see the other group. So they have this one down really pat. So it's really highlight. But now this is the one that I'm sure our listeners are going to want to hear, and that is Scooby Doo and the Universal Monsters Mystery on the Backlot. I will do the good, and then I will do the one thing I'm a little soured on, which Tim knows because he got a 2 hour rant on my texting on this because it involved him. I was supposed to get him a shirt, but we'll get into that in a minute. So this is what I thought. The way they described it is you get on the tram tour, and for basically there was no wait ever for this. It always said zero wait, zero wait. And I'm like, how is that possible for this? This is too.
Yeah.
But now I see why the way this is laid out. So you get on the tram and as you're driving down to the old backlot area in the old little Europe where they filmed the monster film, you get a video presentation setting you up for this, which is like there's this evil director in a funny mask that has come on and has taken over the Universal uh the shoot that you're supposed to be on with the Scooby Doo gang, and you also meet all these other characters on there, and basically that's the whole thing. So when you get down there, you're supposed to figure out with the help of the Scooby gang who out of all the characters you met on the screen are the is the imposter that's taking it over. And so when we got there, they gave you this is one of those things I picked up for you, Tim. So I'm gonna show our audience. They give you one of these books, and in it, it basically tells you the plan. Oh, sorry, it tells you the plan, shows you the suspects, and you have to go
Oh, you gotta solve
around.
the mystery.
Yeah, you got to solve the mystery by going around and like talking to the Scooby characters. You see all the monsters roaming around. It's not regimented where I thought you literally went in a group. And I was like, oh, that's going to take a long time. No, it's like you basically are let loose in that section and the monsters are running loose. The Scooby characters are different sections. You talk to them and you ask them questions and you see props and things and you're supposed to use that book. I was recording, so I was letting Julie and the rest of the group do that part, the mystery, but I was just kind of trying to get footage as much as I could around. And but it's really cool because like you're literally walking around where the monster movies were filmed back in the day with seeing the Universal monsters. Now, of all
Oh, that's
things,
cool.
there is not a creature of the Black Lagoon
Yeah.
there is a section where I thought I saw a video where he like appears in a hologram. I sat there for like 10 minutes and nothing came. So I was furious. So I'm like, that's it. He's not here. And I asked one of the people that work there and they're like, I don't think we have a creature one. I don't think there's a creature walking around here. He kind of said it in character, but also
Yeah.
didn't. But and then I had that great interaction with Julie and the Bride because Julie had on a Frankenstein and the Bride hoodie, and she saw it and she like pointed out and she was talking to her by going like, "Oh, help!" And she pointed at Julie's book because you find out that the monsters have all those. I don't know if you noticed those color like bracelets wrapped around them. Because that was the evil director was controlling the monsters. Because every so often he'd go, the
Okay.
monsters on stage, which I showed you in the video, and they would force to perform and but they were all kind of like under his spell kind of thing. So it was
Oh,
kind of
that's
cool. So
cool.
when
Yeah.
yeah, so when he didn't let them do anything and they were just wandering around, they were acting like the Universal monsters. Like, Frankenstein was there. I got footage of the Wolfman, Dracula, and even the Invisible Man appeared at one point and he came out. And that's also where you got like that giant 2 foot hot dog if you wanted, and the Scooby snacks, which are actually quite delicious. But I'm expecting a box of a whole bunch of little cookies. It's literally four kind of big cookies in there in a box that's the Scooby snacks. So it's kind of cool. But overall, it was really fun. And then so when you're done exploring it and you think you have the mysterious director is, you go back online and there's a thing you can either get on the tram if you don't care about it, which you go in the tram anyway, or you go to the thing where it says final reveal. So you go down that line, you get into this section, and that's where it's kind of a little more regimented. And you basically, because they let you in at a time, and there's a big stage set up, and the Scooby Gang comes out, and the monsters are running around, the director, and so basically they do the full Scooby reveal, like, and it
Oh,
is,
like pull
and
the mask off.
yeah,
Yeah.
they pull the mask off,
Yeah.
and you find out who it is for real. And I think that, from what I understand, they change it up nightly or maybe weekly. I'm not sure how they do it. It's only like 6 nights of this thing, so I don't know how they quite do it, um, and so like it's really a cool thing because they have like part like animated like windows of like Scooby characters running through and the real actors running in and out. So it's kind of like a really cool thing where they
That's
do it
cool.
finally.
Yeah.
And he does this classic line, I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids. So they like fans of Scooby Doo and Universal. I mean, this is like the coolest thing, and I loved every second of this event. So here's the only problem I have. So, and then we got back in the tram. So I wanted the shirt, and I saw they were really limited on the sizes when we got there. I just saw like, but I didn't like pay attention to it. Like I said, oh, I'll get that later. I had just assumed they were gonna have plenty. They only had smalls left, and I wanted to get myself a medium, and I was gonna pick you up one, an XL. And they said so it was only that, and they had the kid sizes, which are gray, and it was a different version. So I'm like, oh, maybe it'll be. I went over to every store possible that could have had it, and they did, and they just were only had the smalls, and I'm like, this can't be. I said, what? This is the opening weekend of the event. Julie went in and asked someone, and they said, oh yeah, we've been sold out for 2 weeks.
So
So
they've been
that was
selling
when
these
I'm
things the
like,
whole time.
right, and so I was like, okay, that is kind of unacceptable. Okay, it was one thing if I went the last week of the event, because then, okay, they
Yeah.
only made so much. But you sell out 2 weeks before the event? That's like crazy. How do you do that? How do you not leave enough for that event? And granted, we didn't see hardly any Sailor Moon stuff. So if you were a Sailor Moon fan, you probably were really livid because you couldn't get anything. That was all gone. The Scooby and Universal Monsters at least had some hoodies, but I didn't want the hoodie as much because it was the thing image was on the back.
But why?
And I
I don't understand. Like, how can they? Why would they not save those to sell at the event? And why? I
Right?
mean, that should be like an exclusive for the people that went to the event.
Exactly. And I actually got this guy's card. I know this sounds like such first word problems, but I'm gonna call this guy. I got his business card. They gave him his like customer affairs because it's like, and not to sound like Prince Mike Collins, with the like, but we're platinum pass holders. Like, how do we like, and the fact that we went to this event and had to pay extra for it, and we couldn't even get the one shirt I really wanted.
Were they selling
So
them in like they were selling them in the normal like theme park stores
yeah, they
before
were
the
selling.
event?
Yeah, and it's City Walk on top of it. Like
Oh my
there's a
gosh.
Universal Monster store in City Walk and a main Universal store, and they had those and they were sold out. So I was like, oh,
Especially
okay,
for
you know
people
what?
that are coming in from out of town or something, that they don't have
Right?
access to that
Like
stuff.
if I imagine this was like we like when we used to go, we would go to Orlando one. I mean, granted, I
Hmm.
am kind of from out of town. I mean, I could drive there in 5 hours, but still, I'm like, so I that was where I have like a gripe with that. I'm like, okay, this is an event you're trying to get going here. I mean, and now I'm like I have this sour taste in my mouth because I couldn't get the one piece of merch I wanted. I mean, I ended up getting like the event shirt, the full event shirt, which had all the fandoms on it, and I got this cool thing. They had a like a weird clearance rack, and I got a cool Bates Motel shirt. So I got two shirts for like $50 with my past
Oh,
discount.
nice.
But I wanted to get you that thing. So I mean, I did get you a free one of those books because they made the mistake of leaving a pile down there. So Universal, if you're listening, you may not want to do that next time I'm coming. So I grabbed a few of them because I figured I'll put one in our prize closet. Put one, I'll send you one. Um, so, but overall, I mean, the event was fun. Like at event goes, like the thing. Like I hope they continue this event, just like improve on it because I was thinking some of the cool things they could do like in the future. And I don't know why my Norton thing is showing up because it's gonna make us do that thing where it says like it's you're not focused. So I have to close that. Sorry, everyone. Um, but like I was thinking like, obviously everyone thought Ghostbusters was gonna be one this year. I hope that's one they do in the future. And I was thinking like, they have like I have a feeling they might do a Wicked one because they're trying to do some kind of Wicked land there later. And then one I thought of that could be so cool and I was thinking of the Universal Monsters, and we drove by it, and that's what gave me this idea: a Jaws fandom. Because you can go down where he pops out of the water and you can walk around Amity and maybe you have to like do some kind of thing and the tram takes you over there and I'm like, "Oh, that could be
Yeah, that
really
would be
cool because
good.
they could add like some neat things to it." I was thinking maybe they put it in the Waterworld stage, but that's like they already have it set up. Why would they move it? Like
Yeah.
when you could obviously they could tram you down there and that could be the cool thing because every year it like seems like they have something on the back lot. That could be cool. I hope they don't. I mean, you
The
know
whole
how I feel.
thing, to me, the whole thing is brilliant. Like, because
Yeah,
you've got, you've obviously got Halloween Horror Nights for the fall,
right.
but this is a way to bring people in during the spring months when it's a little bit, probably a little bit more dead. Because I mean, summer I'm sure is slammed, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
you have it during the spring. Now you've got an alternate event that's going to bring a ton of people in. You don't have to go as all out as Halloween Horror Nights, obviously, because you're not having haunts and stuff. But it's a way to bring fans in to another part of the year. I think
Right.
it's kind of a brilliant idea. I know that it's still in the early stages, but like I would love to see what this looks like 10 years from now.
Yeah, like and I think they could improve on it because I think they like there's nothing there's no like scare zone equivalent. Like Halloween Horror Nights like the entire park literally is immersed. This it's like, you kind of have to know what where you're going with it. You're kind of going there and
Yeah,
it's like, I have a feeling maybe like you said, like maybe 10 years if this thing keeps getting as popular, but although I think it's struggling this year because I saw an ad they sent they're like, "Oh, discount upgrade if you're in the park and you want to spend only $49 to go tonight when it's usually 79." It's not a good sign if they're
yeah,
already discounting you on a weekend night to go see this. So I don't know. I'm
yeah.
hoping.
We'll
I
see.
think, like I said, I can give them approval. If they give me the keys to it, I could totally get that. I just hope they don't like make a Fast and the Furious like fandom
Oh
experience. They already
God!
got the coaster and like this enough. That's
Like,
enough of
stop
Fast and the
trying to make
Furious.
that happen.
I seriously stop it. If the movie's like, I mean, yes, I get it, understand it's popular, but like, I do hope they continue with like, I do like that they had the Universal Monster thing. I hope they kind of, I wouldn't mind if they did that one again, just maybe tweak it a little bit, do something different, because you don't want the
Yeah,
exact same thing, because that one, the whole thing is like solving the mystery. You don't want to go like, it'd be cool if they just did somehow another kind of Universal Monster one, but I have a feeling they'll probably like it seems like the backlot one they change up every year. Um, I hope they because apparently One Piece and Dungeons and Dragons were repeats, so I hope they change those up because although apparently those were the two most popular one last year, so we'll
yeah.
see.
I mean, they probably want to get some mileage out of the props and stuff, so they'll probably a couple of years and then they'll switch it out, like they do with Horror Nights.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, I think it's definitely an event that has potential. I just hope they don't give up on it, because I mean, yes, I'm criticizing a couple of things, but I've seen other people criticize similar things. Like one person said, like, "Oh, I went there, I didn't know Harry Potter closed early," and I'm like, I don't think it did. Maybe they meant like the ride, but I don't think the ride closed either. The ride was open till like I think 10 o'clock, as far as I knew. I don't know, so. I'm not sure what they meant, unless they got confused. I don't know. Maybe they meant that I don't know, the park closes early because if you don't have an event ticket, you're supposed to be out of there. And it was weird. Another thing, like there was this one food item we wanted to get. It was like these dragon egg cheesecakes that were supposed to be down at, and we would go down there and we're like, hey, we want to get one of those. And literally the sign is there for it. And he says, oh yeah, we don't have them right now. They're coming. And I'm like, how do you not have, you're killing me with this
they're on
stuff. I
the
mean,
side.
yeah, they did have these wings that were really good, some kind of water deep wings or something. I don't know, that's pretty good. But the drinks were really watered down. But I think they do that on purpose for this one. Like Horror Night drinks, I remember had a little oomph to it.
Yeah, they were
This
they
one
were good.
was these were kind of watered down, and there wasn't as many themed foods. Although we did get my Scotch egg over at the Harry Potter thing, which was really good. Julie and I got we were starving at one point. It was like 11:30 at night, and I'm like, I'm starving. Or no, no, it was later. It was like 12:30. I'm like, gotta eat something, and it can't be like another sweet dessert kind of thing. So we ate our one box of Scooby snacks already, and I'm like, but I need some real food, so we got that, and that was like the perfect thing. Not too much, just enough, really good. But yeah, so that's my review of FanFest Nights. I will say, um, if you do want to go, I do recommend going if you're, especially if you're a fan of those kind of things, and if you're already like a pass holder to add it on for a night. I think probably everyone does that. It's probably good. I just hope Universal like kind of takes some of the complaints they're seeing maybe to heart and try and tweak the event a little bit.
Nice. Yeah, I would definitely want to do that at some point. Um, all right. So next up we have. Oh yeah, Brian, you showed me this person,
Oh,
Shelby Alexandra.
yeah, I forgot. We skipped our first chop. I just
Yeah.
realized because it was my thing, and we totally went into it. But we do have a real first chop here now.
Yeah, Shelby Alexandra is a artist who creates super cool oil painting prints. I'm sorry, I was jumping ahead. I was trying to say cryptid and prints at the
Yeah.
same time. She does oil painting prints, and she has some really cool horror and cryptid style ones that Brian showed me. And yes, you can find her at shelby-alexandra-art.myshopify.com and shelbyalexandraart.com. So check
Yeah,
her out.
she's got really good presence on social media. And what she does is too, it's like on her website, she shows you like there's little quick videos of her process and stuff too, so you can see her create the stuff too. It's really cool. I think I'm gonna order. There was a really cool. I don't know if you noticed that cool Sasquatch print she had.
Yeah, that was.
I think I want to order
I like.
that because I'm still trying to decorate stuff in here, and I thought that might be a good thing for the somewhere in here. Maybe there's a little section where my horror wall is over there. There you can't see it on camera, but um, now that we have the video, I should do a tour of my
Yeah, we could. I
of
need to
the
start posting some shorts and stuff.
yeah, I think we need to do that kind of stuff because I have like my little Jason display over there and some Freddy, so some horror stuff. I think I got to move it around because it's like there's horror on one side, some Star Wars, and a horror on the other side. I think I can move it around and make it a little bit more themed. Um, but what I'm gonna do is I think there's a place for some pictures and posters. So I may put I think I might want to order one of her cryptid prints and put that up there because they're really cool. She really does a good job on these things. And I always like to help independent artists
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, for sure. Next
Um,
up,
oh
yeah,
yeah,
you
this
gotta talk about this
it's
one,
yeah,
Brian.
I noticed it corrected for some reason. I don't know, maybe it likes Don Henley. It says Raven Henley. It's Raven Hexley. She followed us and I was like, "Oh, let me check it out." And she's hilarious. Tim said it's like Wednesday Adams giving movie reviews.
Yeah, she's
But she
great.
comes on, she's kind of got this cool goth look about her, and her whole shtick is that she will do a horror movie review in 15 seconds or less. And she managed to do all three of the Stranger remakes. And
Yeah,
I was cracking up because I'm like, oh my God, this is like if Red Tim was its own entity, this
yeah,
would be his soulmate kind of thing.
yes.
Like it's like the way she ran off
Well,
on it,
I
like,
like how
"Arr."
even her good reviews are forcefully portray.
Yeah, like
I don't know how to
yeah,
say it. She's like even
she's
her
really
good review.
funny.
She makes even her good reviews sound sinister. So I like that.
Yeah, I feel like we need to get her for a roundtable one day because I think she'd be hilarious, like
She'd
to
be
go
great
in
for a
there.
round table. Yes.
Because like we're so like kind of like oh we joke around with the red Tim, but usually we're really pretty positive about stuff. But it'd be nice to get another person that's not going to hold back if she doesn't
Yes.
like something. I could tell she will tell us if it's not good. But she's great. So check her out, Raven Hexley on Instagram. I see she just it seems like she's just starting this, so kind of let's get some good support for her out there so
Yeah.
she can get a good following.
And Tales from the Crypt on Shutter today. I was looking forward to this for so long. I've been watching Freddy's Nightmares, that old anthology on I think it's on Plex or somewhere. I think it's Plex. I've been watching some of those, but man, other than Robert Englund making an appearance doing his Freddy thing, in short cameos and stuff, and aside from the first episode, which is actually pretty good because it tells like the prequel story of when Freddy got burned by
Oh, that's
the
cool.
mob. The anthology itself is, man, they drag these episodes out to an hour each, and the
Oh.
stories just don't hold up for an hour, and they crawl. I mean, it is a slog to get through these. I've only watched 2 episodes, and
See,
I'm like,
that's broadcasting for you. If that was a
yeah.
streaming thing, they would have cut the
Oh
episode to
yeah,
whatever it needs to be.
I mean, and this thing had 2 seasons, and I'm like, it's got to get better because like these episodes are way too long. Like if they were 30 minutes, they'd have been fine, but an hour for each of these things, they just go drag on and on and on. But
It's funny. I remember that one you told me about. I don't remember the many other episodes of it though, and I remember I used to watch it when it
because they're
was
not
on. So
memorable. But I don't know.
yeah,
I'm gonna stick with it because I want to finish the series, but it's been a little bit of a slog. Now, Tales from the Crypt's a different story. I think
yes,
those were held up much better. Those were much
yeah.
more highly critically acclaimed. I used to have the CD soundtrack of Tales from the Crypt that had all the music from the series. It was
Oh,
really
nice.
good. It's a really good soundtrack if you ever can hunt it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna total do. That's gonna be like a side project. I'm gonna totally watch all these again, like straight through. Because I remember when they were on HBO, that was so fun on there.
Yeah,
My favorite one was that one with I was gonna say it's because Arlie Ermy because he's in the Willard
yeah.
remake, but M. Emmett Walsh, one where he like and where he gets like sewn up at the end. Like I love that one. Like he's a gardener or something. And he gets sewn.
Oh,
That
they're so. I can't wait. It's been
I
so
know.
long since I've watched any of them, and I know I didn't watch all of them when they were out. I know I didn't. So there's going to be some new stuff there for me.
See, if we had Patreon, this would totally be like our sideshow. Like we'd say, okay, come
Yeah,
watch Tales from the
Tales
Crypt
of the
with us,
Crypt.
and
Yeah,
we'll watch, like kind of Kim and Ket did.
yeah.
But yeah. So this one I added at the last minute. I told you I had to correct it because it said shirt. I don't know what is with autocorrect on my thing already, but it's correcting everything. So all of a sudden I'm getting these targeted ads from Kohl's, and it's these full on like they're probably not like business quality, but these horror suits. Like there's one where it's all ghost face, and then there's one where it's just all black suit with blood streams on it, and it comes
What?
with a suit and tie and everything. It's like $39. I'm like, I gotta buy one of these just to see what it's like. It's probably
Oh,
like the equivalent of like those costumes, the cheap
yeah,
costumes.
the cheap. Yeah, I don't know. I've almost got to get one just to wear it just randomly out one
I
day.
know. The bloody one is like our colors because it's like the red, like blood, and the black
I gotta
suit.
go
So
look
it's like
these
a.
things up.
I
That's
know.
great.
I'll tell you what though. How cool would that be if our merch store was able to do like
Full
print on
suit.
one of those shirts. I got to look up, maybe there's a company that'll do it. Can you imagine walking around like a civil gore? That'll be what you wear the suit that doesn't fit. You'll get a
Yeah.
civil sore, a civil gore suit with like our logo and the tie, matching
Oh, that'd
tie.
be
I mean,
awesome. Oh my
we'd be
gosh.
like cruising into the cons like these, like
Yeah,
like
that'd
hello,
be so
yes.
awesome.
We don't normally wear suits, but we're civil gore, and I don't know why we got British, but
we're
whatever.
we're we're civil. We're civilized, so we have to
Yeah,
wear
I know. Why are
suits.
we doing like those old like right guard commercials? Like, we need to be civilized, and like we'll be like walking around with
Oh,
deodorant and a suit. I don't know.
oh my gosh.
Okay. Well, let's get into Ben.
Let's get into Ben. 1972, directed by Phil Carlson, starring Lee Montgomery as Danny Garrison, Joseph Campanella as Kirtland, Arthur O'Connell as Billy Hatfield, Rosemary Murphy as Beth Garrison, Meredith Baxter,
Bernie, there's
pre
no Bernie
Bernie,
in this.
no
Yeah.
Bernie. She's just Meredith Baxter. Eve Garrison, Kaz Garaz as Joe Greer, Paul Carr as Kelly, and Richard Van Vliet as Reed. A lonely boy befriends Ben, the leader of a violent swarm of killer rats. And
By
this
the
is
way,
a
about Meredith Baxter, real quick, as I understood when when she first met Her husband, she spent a weekend at Bernie's. So, sorry, that was terrible. You knew that was coming, Tim, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
I know
I did.
he knows me too well. I could see. I saw. I don't know if you guys could tell, but I saw his face start to like. Okay, here comes a terrible Brian pun with Bernie. I know it. I know
I
it.
was excited to see her though. Like
Yes,
she's
she was. It's weird
she's
seeing her young, like like
pre
Keaton
Bernie. Yeah,
and pre Bernie. Yeah, she's like a different person.
yeah.
Dark hair and everything. Yeah.
But she's great. Yeah, she's
Yes.
we love Meredith Baxter in all her forms, both Baxter and Baxter Bernie.
I didn't realize like now we like have both Keaton parents like as other cool characters in horror films.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that. That would be cool if somehow they would have reunited them in like the Tremors series or something.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to think
Ah,
of what we. I was trying to cross Tremors with Family Ties, and I just couldn't come up with it off the top of my head.
oh, there's
Yeah,
got to be one.
yeah,
That I mean, with all AI, we could probably that'd be a good use for AI if we just created
yeah.
something fun like that.
So yeah, Ben is a direct sequel to Willard, and in this case, as you may know from our last episode, Ben escapes, and he's on the run, and he is befriended by a young child who is not. I guess he, in a way, he's a little bit like Willard. I wouldn't call him as introverted,
Hmm.
but he's lonely because he has a heart condition, and
Yeah,
I was actually kind of a little bit. I really felt for him because
yeah.
when I was in kindergarten, I knew a kid that had a pacemaker. Now, I don't know if you know
Oh,
back in the 80s, it wasn't like the pacemakers today. Pacemakers today are, they basically just stick a little thing in you like you can't even see it. Back in the 80s, when you had a pacemaker, you had a brick inside of your chest. And it
man.
was like you could even see it. And they had to cut your entire chest open from like top to bottom. So you had this scar all the way down your chest. And this kid in my class, I remember because the teacher like took us aside and said, "You can't play rough with him because you don't want to hit him in the chest or something where his pacemaker was." And I was friends with this kid, and so he reminded me a lot of Ben, and I mean not Ben, what's his name in the movie,
Uh,
the kid. Whenever I don't even
Danny,
remember his name,
Danny.
Danny.
You almost said Willard. Yeah,
Yeah,
Danny.
no, so it really reminded me. So I felt really bad for this kid because I kind of knew a kid like that, and so he's lonely in that sense. Like he's kind of got this
Yeah.
condition, so he's kind of overprotected, and so you kind of have that parallel with Willard. But at the same time, this is like really talented kid, like musically talented, and he's very creative. He does like puppet shows and stuff in his room,
Well,
and
yeah, honestly, though, if someone saw that puppet show, I think he would lose all his friends. That
yes,
was kind of,
probably yeah,
it was a very disturbing puppet show.
yes,
I mean, and not for nothing, but his like puppet theater was like next level puppet
yes,
theater. Like
yeah,
it was like he had like a full on like fleet of marionettes in there and a full on theater, and
yeah.
he was like a composer. This kid composes. I mean, this
Oh,
kid's going,
we
you
gotta
know.
let's. Can we talk about that scene? So there's a scene where Danny is composing the song "Ben" that we already
Yeah,
know because it's already been playing, but he's the one that makes up the song, right?
yeah,
And it goes on. Did this scene go on for like 20 minutes? Like he had to sit there and compose the entire song
yeah.
behind this piano, and it's so unconvincing because he's like, I don't know the actual lyrics, but
Yeah.
Ben, you are my friend.
And
I'll be with you until the end. And I'm like, oh my God, like just
this kid would.
stop.
Yeah, he would never win a rap battle. He's not fast enough to come up
No.
with like some diss tracks. Yeah, he
And you
couldn't do.
don't buy it because you're like, I already know that this song was written by professional people that and Michael
Yeah,
Jackson
like
sang
I
it
know
like
Michael Jackson wrote
he's
this guy or sang it. He
so
didn't.
he
I
sang
don't
it.
think he wrote it, but
He
yeah,
don't write it,
I'm
but he
like
sang
I
it.
know this song is already created, so this is
Yes.
just
Oh, it
this
was
is just
so
insulting to
painful.
me.
Oh my God, it was so painful.
Yeah,
But yeah, I will say this movie ups the horror quotient. Like they definitely decided for sequel we got to add more horror, so the body count's higher. You've got there's a great scene where Ben takes all the rats into a grocery store and just
oh
cleans
my
it
god.
out.
Yeah, that actually, honestly, that part, like, I'm like, oh my god, this grocery store is wrecked for
Just
good. I
burn
mean,
it to
they
the
were
ground.
literally in every cereal notification.
Yeah.
I was excited to see Post Toasties because I thought that might. I told that to somebody, and they're like, that's not a real. cereal. I'm like, yeah, it is. I said I remember post toasted. So at least my fever dream of this possible fever dream of this cereal has been
Yeah.
proven right. But yeah, no, they go through. But I will say it's so funny. Tim had the funniest thing because I was texting Tim as I was watching it. He had already seen it. And I'm like, this one point, this car drives up. You could tell it was just whatever car they could get, and they just slapped on a sticker that said patrol on it. And Tim's like, well, when you have a lot of rats, you know, you must have to cut the budget
Yeah,
somewhere, and
rat handling's expensive. Yeah,
it is, especially
there
for
was.
this. There was a lot.
I mean, this movie had to have been slapped together, right? Willard came out in 71. This came out in 72. Like
Yeah.
they rushed this thing into production.
Well, there was
Uh,
supposed to be a third one, which kind of leads into our fan topic food later, but and so it
yeah,
was like I think there was a third one that was supposed to double the rats from Ben. So it was gonna be like 20,000 rats, or so it's put in
yeah.
the
I mean,
trivia or
this one had a
something.
lot of. To
Yeah.
be fair, Willard did not have a lot of rats, really, compared to like this. Like this
Yeah.
is like full on rat hordes,
Like I feel
and
like this one they had to like they hired rat extras even. There were so
yeah,
many, you know.
yeah. But the funniest thing you'll die laughing, Brian, is there was a jump scare in this movie that got me, and it's the stupidest jump scare I've ever jumped at, hands down. It's when I think the cops came in to talk to Danny, and they were asking about Ben because
Oh,
he's
I
got
know
this
what
rat,
this is now.
and
Now I know what it
so
is.
he
Yeah.
turns around and he goes rah like that with this puppet or whatever,
I
and
sh
it scared the crap. This kid does like he's trying to scare the cops, and he scared the crap out of me with this stupid rat puppet. I was like, oh my god,
Yeah,
why did I
where
fall
did
for that?
that? Okay, where did that one come from? That was like one of my. I know you buy the premise, buy the flick, that sort of
Yeah,
thing. You know, you're involved in it all. But like literally within a day, he had like a full on like Hollywood replica Ben marionette. Like
yes,
where did he get that from? Like so fast? He never goes. He doesn't go out, and
no,
I've never seen his mother come home shopping. I mean,
maybe
maybe he sent Bernie out to like Meredith back. Maybe she like. I mean, they didn't have like Postmates at that point or
I don't know.
Uber
I was so
Uber
mad
Eats.
though. I was like, that little creepy crap bag just got me with that
And after
jump
that,
scare.
Tim's sympathy for his condition all went
Oh
away.
yeah,
No,
well, I was simply I was like, yeah,
no.
curse you and your pacemaker.
And
Yeah, so yeah, he was poor little guy. He got me. He got me good. I mean, credit where credit's due.
he got the cop too. The
He
cop
got
was
the
angry.
cop. Yeah, the cop. He did get the cop too. He
He
got
was
him.
like, "You're like, yeah." He was not, and he was like shaking him later on. He got mad at him. He was like, killed the kid. Like, it's like,
But it's weird because this one, you would think if they were following the premise, like Ben. I mean, God, I keep wanting to call the kid Ben. Why do I want to keep calling Danny would have. He does have this ability to kind of communicate with Ben, but
he knows the rat language right away. Like that's
yeah, it's the same
like
kind of deal where
language.
he's got this connection, but it's not like Willard was where this kid is malicious. Like he's Ben's almost like more in control of this kid than the kid's in
Yeah.
control of Ben, which is kind of where this movie I think kind of started separating, and which you see more of, which we'll get to next week. You see more of in the Willard remake,
Oh,
where
okay.
really the Ben starts becoming the real villain of the franchise or movie or whatever. And you kind of see that in this movie. Like that's where it starts to turn. Like he was in Willard too, but I think Willard was such a strong figure in the movie that you don't get that till like towards the very end. But in this
Yeah.
one, you could start seeing Ben take over as the quote unquote star
Well,
of the
and this one
franchise.
too, the kid is more definitely more the conscious. Like he's like, he's trying to like reason with them. He's like,
Right.
look, I know you guys are hungry, but you're starting to get everyone aggravated here by like destroying a grocery store, which is that's like, I mean, that's like all I could think of is that's like they had to probably close that
Yes.
store and like
Yeah.
rebuild it. They ate every piece of cereal and cracker known to man in there, but no, and he's like telling me, he's like, oh, you're trying to be, and he's protecting him, and he never wanted to like send Ben off. Like Willard, he like used the rats as as like his personal army, but
Yeah.
in this, he just all he cared about was Ben. Like he didn't care about the other rats like at all.
Right.
He
Right.
just
Right. Yeah.
Ben was his best friend. Kid has no friends. Ben was loyal to, so he's like that's all he wanted was to hang out with Ben. So much that he made the replica of him. He wrote a song about him. It's like you know.
But it was kind of I guess it was kind of a good choice to make Ben's human counterpart in this movie a like innocent child, because if you're gonna move the evil, shift the evil more onto the rat. This kid has done nothing. I mean, he's a good kid, so now you can let the rat take center stage in terms of the villainy of the movie, and you don't have to worry about another character like fighting for, because I mean Willard's a sympathetic character to an extent, but then at the same time he's also doing some pretty awful things. So this one they kind of shift everything towards the rats, which I'm actually surprised there was not a sequel to this. And I know you
Yeah.
said there was supposed to be a third part.
There was supposed to be a third one. I don't know if this one, because maybe it wasn't well received, because it was, it was a stark difference in a lot of ways than the first one. So maybe that's why. I mean, it was like, I feel like it couldn't decide if it wanted to be like, I know I'm going to hell for this one, but I felt like there was part comedy in there, like with some of the stuff that was going on, and then so obviously there was more of like a drama, and then then horror, and then like there was a lot. Like I don't think it could decide which genre it wanted to really like completely buy into, so it had multiple ones in there, which is fine because I really enjoyed it. I mean, like I had
Yeah,
fun watching it. It's just I think like how we said we said, oh, there's this like allegory of like maybe alcoholism or substance abuse
right,
in the
right.
first one. Like this one, I think it was just kind of straightforward. It didn't have that kind of piece to
No,
it.
it's not. It's
Kind of
not as
just,
deep a movie
yeah,
at
there's no
all.
deepness to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no layers to it. It's a straight up. They're trying to just capitalize off the popularity of Willard and make a rat horror movie. So it's much
Yeah.
more in that vein. But I don't think it ever fully got there, and maybe that's the problem with it. Is it never went full blown rat horror? Like I think it tried, but I don't think it. I think a third one would have been like the definitely would have capped it off. That would have been like the full blown bloody
Well,
rat
wait,
horror.
just
Yeah.
just hold that thought when we get to our fan topic foo,
Yeah.
and you'll see why. But so it's funny. I think also this is a secret prequel to Willy Wonka, because Grandpa Joe, I think, is like a newspaper reporter in this, and I think that's why he ends up being bedridden, because he probably gets so like
Oh yeah.
exhausted through this.
There you
Didn't the
go.
other guy? Did he look like Grandpa
He
Joe? He
did look
looked
like
like it.
Grandpa Joe.
I know he's not. I know
Yeah.
he's not, but it looked like him the whole time. And then I loved it because the first few minutes of the movie was like rats attack, crowd in the street all looking,
Yeah.
rat attack, crowd. It's so funny, but that's how you could tell the time. Back then, that's what you did. Like if some kind of event, now it's like the people be there, they'll get out their phone and so you
They'd be
can
on their
watch
phones.
everything
Yeah.
from home. You watch it on the Citizens app, like, oh, look at that. Look at that mayhem. But there, it's like that was what it was like. It was like something happened on the street, the whole neighborhood would come
Oh,
out and
came out on the
stand
street.
there
It's
in their
all, yeah.
coats. I
And
mean,
their pajamas and their curlers in their hair.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it cracked me up because I'm like, oh my God, this is so that time. It's like that's so like 70s, early 80s kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like shows how different things are now, because like now everyone would have their phone out, like
Yeah.
recording the rat mayhem. It's like,
Yeah. It would have been like Pizza Rat gone viral.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
they
I,
needed
I
a
thought this
collab.
was this was fun. I mean, it's not as I don't think it's as good a movie as Willard because it doesn't have that depth, and obviously he doesn't have the performances of like Ernest Borgnine or Bruce
Yeah.
Davison. But it's still entertaining, and I enjoyed it. Like I said, you got to watch it just for the weird scene where the kid composes a song alone. It's worth the price of admission. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so
And then the
bizarre.
other songs, he's like, I love when he's like, he literally performed a one man, like a show for one, when he just
Yes.
performed like his puppet show for Ben, and he like liked it because he's like,
Well, what's bad is that kind of reminded me of how I like constantly singing to Mia literally all day long, and I'm singing songs like every song that comes on the radio. I put Mia's name into it.
oh,
I'm like,
I do the exact
oh
same
my
thing.
god,
That's a rule when you have a dog.
I think
I
it
do it
is.
to
Yeah,
Obi all the
yeah, it
time,
is.
and Obi just looks at me like he does that head tilt,
Yeah,
like, okay, what's yeah, no, the songs that Obi gets, and it goes back through I assumed it was a generational thing for my family because my grandfather would make up songs about everybody and
yeah.
everything. So I definitely inherited that, but it seems like it's more of a pet thing because, like,
I think
yeah,
it's a
poor
pet thing.
Obi
Yeah, because
gets
before
songs.
before Mia, it was the cats. I had songs for all the cats. So
Yeah, I actually wrote one song I always sing to Obi is the a version of Soft Kitty
yeah,
for like from Sheldon's like thing, but
yes.
I like soft Obi, warm Obi, little bag of fluff, happy Obi, sleepy Obi, rough, rough, rough. So yeah,
Oh,
so it's a rule. I no judgment here.
I have this weird one where I do the Escape the Pina Colada song, but I say, if you like coladas,
Oh
which
my,
I don't know what a Mia Colada is, but
well, it could be a household drink now. Hey, we have a
right.
civil gore that we
So
made up, so
I
why
may
not a
have to,
Mia
may
Colada?
have to make a Mia Colada.
Yeah, I
Um,
get it.
all right. So what was our beer pairing for this one? Because you had to come up with another rat themed
Yes,
beer
I
for this.
did. This one is Rat Bastard Pale Ale. And this one's
That's
actually not
great.
too far from me, apparently. It's Stumptown Brewery in Guerneville, California, 6%. And this guy, like I couldn't find like their own website didn't have a true different like a description of the beer, but they had a guy write it. So it wrote
Okay,
Jay
I like
Brooks.
this.
Yeah, Jay Brooks of the Brookston Beer Bulletin said, "The Rat Bastard is a well-made pale ale with good aromas and a crisp, clean palate. It has a generous hop bite that finishes bitter, anything that says bite in it's got to be perfect for the rat
Yes.
movie. It says then drops off sharply in the end, kind of like this movie. No, okay. The rat is a very chuggable drop, coming in at just under 6%. It's a fine session beer with a clean, dry finish. With its balanced hop profile, the rat is crisp on the tongue and pleasant, slightly floral with some citrus, to the nose without overpowering its malt character. This is our favorite review. It tastes like beer.
Which you want your beer to taste like beer. I mean,
I would hope
that's not a
so. I would.
bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, if it tasted like Chardonnay, I'd be a little concerned,
Yeah.
but you know.
So our fan topic food question is, and this one kind of harkens back a little bit to our primate episode. If you would make a sequel to Ben, what would your premise be?
I have a whole thing on this. So,
Well,
but I'll let you go first.
go. You want me to
Uh,
go first?
I could go first if
Go
you
for it.
want.
Go
Uh,
for it, because you're probably going to outshine mine. Because mine was not
well,
bad.
I mean, I did have the advantage of writing this question, so I kind of
Yeah,
made some notes on this already, but this is what my thing would be. And I know this is so generic and so like
that's okay for
basic,
these
but still.
movies, right?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
the so it's called Danny's Revenge. It
Ooh.
says in a sequel to Ben and Willard, we revisit Danny years later, who is now a science student in a college who is trying to find a better treatment for similar heart conditions to his, as he finds out he doesn't have much time left. We find he still has Ben with him, who is older and weaker. He experiments in finding a drug that strengthens his heart, but being denied access to the lab supplies and test animals by like the surly like professor, says he decides to test it on a weakening Ben. Ben seems to rapidly grow stronger and healthier, but a side effect is aggression. Ben attacks all the other lab animals at the university, causing them to become aggressive. So now it's not just rats, it's every lab animal is now after everybody.
Mm.
And it says, so no student or faculty is safe. Will Danny be able to bring himself to do the unthinkable to stop Ben, his lifelong friend, and save the university?
Oh,
So,
I like
so that's
that.
my sequel. So it
I
gets
like.
dark, bloody, gory. Like, I mean, you got like every lab animal, think about it, like, will be
See,
attacking and
yours.
killing
I
people.
like yours because yours ties directly into Ben, whereas mine did
Yeah.
not. Mine was kind of a spiritual successor,
That's
and it
okay, because that,
yeah, but mine was like it's almost a. I would say it's almost a reboot in a way, but in this one, and forgive me, it's a little pinky in the brain, but in
mm,
this one, AI is. I'm gonna make this topical. So AI, of course, is everywhere. Well, they figure out a way to implant an AI chip into a rat's brain.
oh,
So now Ben, instead of being this naturally smart rat, uh, it's an AI augmented rat is Ben, and we could come up with some acronym. Maybe it's BEN that stands for binaural electronic
oh, yeah.
neuro rodent or something. And so he gets
We'll
implanted with it.
workshop it.
Yeah, he gets implanted with this AI chip, and he turns instead of basically becomes a super rat that now is like, and because it's AI, his goal is to wipe out humanity. So he's using his rat
Oh, I
army,
like
which
that.
rats outnumber us. They've said that in the movies how much
Oh,
rats
yeah.
outnumber us. That to like we're gonna the AI wants to wipe out humanity, so now the rat is using his powers to wipe out humanity. So that was my thing. We could call it we could call it Ben with a 3 for the E.
Ah, I love it. Yeah, I know because mine. Yeah, I couldn't think of how I was going to do mine because I didn't want to write it. Ben three, Danny's Revenge. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'll change it to.
I don't
But
know. That
I
was
thought
my
of a
thing.
really cool a sequel to your sequel. The
Oh,
fourth one, it's like in the future, and they send a rat back named the Verminator, and he comes. And he warns Ben. Yeah, sorry. See, I did it now.
Yeah.
Warns Danny like, stop it. If you don't stop Ben now, this is the future, right?
Oh
And then we get
God,
a whole, and Arnold Schwarzenegger could come in and play the Verminator.
I'll be right.
I'll be right. Yeah, there you go. See, look at this. Why
Well,
why are we
well,
doing just this
I
podcast?
don't
I'm
know. I
telling
don't
you,
know.
we
Well, I
have
got, we got
gems here. Gems.
Jim's. It's gold, Jerry. Gold.
Jerry, come on. I tell you.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
yes, as threatened, I would say as promised, but as threatened, we're going to be doing the Willard remake.
Yes.
Brian, you haven't watched it yet, right?
No, I'm gonna watch it this weekend. I was trying to watch it, had a lot of
Oh my
things
God.
going on, so I didn't
It,
get to watch it.
this Willard remake, there's going to be a lot to go over, a lot to
Oh,
talk
okay,
about.
nice.
It is an experience. So I'm very much looking forward to that discussion.
Is there a
So
scene where he goes, "Rat, Lorraine, rat"? No, sorry.
but no, but he is peak. It's just peak Crispin Glover. I said it last episode. It is peak Crispin Glover.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's gonna be the best. So yeah, you guys stay tuned for the Willard 2009 remake starring Crispin Glover and Arlie Ermy as
Oh
his
God.
overbearing
Anytime
boss. I
he's
mean,
in a movie, you
oh,
got some good
it,
thing. I wish Frances Lee McCain was in there so she could go, "Would you stop playing with those things and come and eat your dinner?"
I know. But anyway, it's gonna be great,
Oh,
guys. So
real quick, that's what I wanted to tell you. I bet in this one specifically, there had to be like so like Spielberg when he did Gremlins had to take some things from this. I feel like from this movie, like with certain things how they were like, how like all those scenes when the Gremlins are running amok.
yeah,
There's some like almost like there was one shot. I'm like, oh my God, that looks exactly like the shot they used in Gremlins, and I can't remember which one it was now.
that would be
I should have
interesting.
wrote it down, but. If you watch it again, like look, like I feel like there's a definitely an homage that Gremlins played to something like that because it seems like
I
there's
mean, yeah, I
sequences
could see
where it
that.
could.
Yeah,
So
I can
yeah.
definitely see that. Oh, anyway. Yeah, you guys check
Anyway,
this one
sorry.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
check this one out, and and watch the Willard remake because we're gonna be covering that. It's on Shutter as well. No, it's on
Yes.
Shutter.
No,
No.
no, it's
Willard.
not. It's on Plex, I
It's
think.
on Plex. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Willard and Ben are on Shutter, and the Willard remake is on Plex. So go check those out, and we'll see you back here next week.
And by the way, I did purchase these from Amazon, by the way, the Willard and
Oh,
Ben. Like
nice, very nice,
pretty cheap. I think this was 10, this was 14. And it's a Blu-ray and DVD combo, so not bad.
sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna have to grab those too. These are fun movies. Definitely
Yes.
fun movies. All right, guys, we'll see you
Good
back
for the
here next
monolith.
week.
See
Stay
ya.
away from the rats. Later.